We all know that humans are the worst thing ever for the planet Earth. In our short 50,000 year history, we had countless skirmishes, 2 world wars, and are currently threatening over 1 million animal species with extinction. These are undoubtedly the worst things we have done, but I am feeling typically positive today. So instead of dishing out the critics that mankind deserves, I am going to celebrate our species. When we work together and use our combined intellects and technical know-how, we can do amazing things. We are wonderful creatures, you and I and every single Homo sapiens on Earth. It's all well and good to be proud of our past achievements, but it's even better to dream up for future ones. The universe is a wide place, and there is more than enough space for anything we want to do. I anticipate the future civilization, the next technological revolution, and the next huge structure to be built, the greatest empire of all times. Maybe I'll be the one to do all these things. Placing a man on the moon will stand throughout history as mankind's greatest achievement. We will see many more landings and many more moons of different galaxies. Nothing else has changed the structure of human society more than the microprocessor. It has given the world 365 billion years. How many more billionaires or billionaires do we need to see the multi-microprocessing architecture? Could quantum computers have come from alien technologies? Could other civilizations have quantum computing? When humans first began to grow crops and domesticated animals, marked as agricultural revolution that had single greatest impact on our civilization of any event. While the first humans to live on Mars might not identify as astronauts but farmers, so is the case with other planets or galaxies. That's why humans are so curious. Even quantum computers can't answer them all. Mona Lisa is undeniably one of the most famous works of art in the world and arguably the best. The future civilization is awaiting with Hubble's super bubble picture pillars or creation or Eagle Nebula in their hands to explore and build. The largest structure ever built by humans, the Great Wall of China. It took about 2,700 years, quite a few numbers of dynasties, to build such a massive structures. How many civilizations could take to replace such massive structure with their molecules into the future wormhole or event horizons? Video is an hypothetical endeavor depicting some future fictional civilization on planet Earth where humans evolved in different intellectual species and entailed future conflicts. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is Biran from Biran's Orbit, and so I'm showing you the second part of my series. So this series is all about fictional characters, like fictional things essentially. It's going to show you how war works. It's going to show you like how evolution works, and to see the evolution and the entire design of the map, make sure to check out the first part. If you haven't seen the first part or technically the second part, then make sure to watch it. It should be a little bit earlier, but whatever. So now we're gonna go to the war scene. Today I'm gonna be showing you the war in this series. Okay, I haven't gone for a series name. It's gonna be just fictional map or sea map, as I like to call it, just a random name. Okay, so first, really what we see is that there's alliance starting to form up and threats starting to form up. So first of all, the human civilization stake alongside the fisherman civilization. They make an alliance. Why would they make a civilization alongside them, like ally? Well, number A, fishermen are technically just men and humans, but Well, they're in the sea. B, the humans have a strong land force, but the fishermen have a strong navy force. I call them the fishermen, or their actual name is Sarwataria, but that's a long name, so I'm just gonna say fishermen. Okay, Sarwataria. So these guys make an alliance to get treating their kings. They're like the human civilization will be really prone to navy attacks, while the Sarwataria civilization will be really weak if they are on land against other land forces, which are not weak. This is immediately seen as a really big threat. So what happens is that since they are really strong army forces, both this, what is this called? First let me see. It's like the bad side. Yeah, bad civilization is like thinking this is a threat because there's army. Hold on, let me show you something. There's armed forces right here. There's armed forces right here for them to attack. Like there's real armed forces there. But in here, there's really a prone attack to the navy, right? This is really prone attack to the navy also. So what they have to do is they have to overcome both the army and the navy, which is really overwhelming because they're really already powerful and could defeat each other. It's a 50-50. But now with this, they can easily defeat them. So that is what I can really say is like a good alliance because they now can easily defeat everyone. Although they have one problem. They first of all have the problem of this way. They cannot really go that way because this, in case you haven't seen, this has the name of Andate. And Andate basically is a savage civilization with magical powers. And see, if they try to go through here, there's a lot of pirates here. More pirates than everywhere else, where there's already a lot of pirates. And this is mainly because a lot of people here became pirates and they are really strong in navy. So we cannot really defeat them, and they cannot also create a strong navy force to pass them. So they're pretty neutral now. Even if they declare war, they cannot really do anything. The only thing is air force. They don't have any air force, currently at least. So first, the first war ever begins between the Harvias and the Marinos. The Marinos is like the civilization underwater. This makes not much sense, but if you look at their strategic position, then they're pretty much in the middleest in the world. Like this is the middleest part of the world, in case you didn't know this exactly. Middleest world, like it's the most middle you can get in the world. And this is them. Or this will be too far for them, but this will be perfect for them. And they can breathe underwater because aliens can do anything with technology. They also have air force. They also have powerful air force, and so they had set out to declare war on them. And also there's a really convenient chain of islands here leading up to it. So they can just island hop their way there till they have to go underwater. So this is the first war, and I like to think that there will be like names that we cannot even think. So I'll keep these names and generals and other things here. So a lot of fleets land here. So a lot of fighting happens in the water till Madagascar has to just kind of surrender. They really don't have anything to do. But this is taken as a threat from the other parts of this civilization. They keep a good eye, but since this is the first war, they don't really do much. And by the way, there are multiple countries. So we can say Madagascar is officially now a Dwarvia territory. Madagascar is now Dwarvia. Also, by the way, in case you're wondering what reference I had to make with Dwarvia, well, it was actually about Australia. Everybody says Australia has aliens, right? So originally, I tried to build like a framework of the map, and I tried covering Australia, but it looked bad, so I pushed it back. That's why there are aliens there. But basically, they have defeated them. You have to understand how powerful they are, because they have the most advanced tech, but maybe some other people can take it down. And in case you don't know, this is not scripted. There's literally zero idea of what has happened, what could happen in this world. But second off, I like to think that the pirates and the Andate make a deal, like a bunch of groups in the Andate, because they, in case you don't know, they are in full anarchy, make a deal with the pirates. A simple deal. They can give them navy support and allow them to invade in exchange for gold and other resources. Because in case you didn't know, this is a very rich island. But the problem is that the people cannot harvest it and all of the riches, so they are not advanced. That's why. So they head off from Reti, which is the capital, by the way. There's a giant tree by the wall, so covering this area in shadows. But the rate kind of goes, and a lot of groups from there make the deal, and now they are off to invade their first area. So they think, which is the closest one to us? And they realize, oh wait, it's just this area. It's seeable from the top. So they head up there, and we find our first real fleets and areas making their way here. And then the first battle happens. Here, I have to make a bunch of names, so I'm just gonna leave them to NR, I guess, as a random name. And Dav. I really am not good at making names, but just random names. So these guys go off. These are main general armies, and they fight in around the metropolitan Polker. Oh, it's a reference to Polynesia. That's what I was wondering. It's a reference to Polynesia. Hey, I forgot my own references. Okay, whatever. But Pulsar, basically, there's the battle of like this area around Pulsar. So what happens is Pulsar is like getting quickly surrounded. They're almost destroyed, but Polkar keeps up for a lot of time. In case you don't know, they have magical powers. Like I can just magically cut off this video right now. Okay, why didn't cut? I don't have magic powers, I guess. Okay, but they encircle it, and it's pretty much like Mario Pole in the real world. They kind of just keep getting sieged, but they never get sieged. And there's like graveyards going. I like that idea. So they kind of just get sieged. They are saying that they get sieged, but they haven't gotten sieged. They don't get sieged. This is the besieged city of Pulsar. Okay, that's funny. But the besieged city of Pulsar is now about to be sieged, and eventually it does get sieged. So here's the thing: if a savage people invade you, the fun part why I made savage these savage peoples or Andate people was because I wanted to make it so like no peace treaties were there. Because I would have really liked the ideas of peace treaties being super cool, alternative peace treaties, but they kind of just slows down the process because eventually there is going to be a war still, and they're going to still finish it off. So peace treaties aren't really a thing here. In case you haven't watched any mapping video, peace treaties never really happen. Peace treaties always kind of just get overlooked, and another war destroys those peace treaties. So that is why I wanted a savage or Andate or whatever you want to call it, like that civilization. Eventually, they head off to Hasavik, but Hasavik is quickly Hasavik defends off and pushes off a bunch of troops here to try to take retake Pulsar. A bunch of troops go there, and a massive battle happens with over I guess 600,000 casualties. That is how much I want you to think. That is how much this Batsa suffer from that battle. But eventually, Batsa becomes like successful, and they quickly invade it. They quickly take over Pulsar. Again, this Das and Anar quickly have a really bad situation, and they're killed and executed basically. Okay, this is very bad. Okay, whatever. But afterwards, when they are about to land there, and there's massive defense, and this kind of stays like a war that nobody sends anything to. So sometimes there's a little bit of force sent, but eventually it's destroyed. Then another side, another little bit of force sent. So they technically never signed a peace treaty, but they stopped sending them forces. They're technically still in war, but they're not in war. Like Russia and China or Japan, they were in war about those islands. They never signed a peace treaty, and it's technically a war, but it's not a war. What is it? Okay, I don't know. But this makes them another enemy. This makes that's a pretty bad situation here. So Batsa decides to do what everybody says. They don't know, by the way, that's as they're thinking they're enemies. If you can defeat an enemy, join the enemy. Yeah, that's the reference everybody makes. So now they join these guys and they make a multi-alliance like this. They create something known as the what can I say? Atlasa water triangle. Atlasa water triangle. That makes sense, right? Atlasa water triangle. That's what they make. So this triangle will make like a good alliance, because now there's like a giant triangle here, which are basically obliterated from each side if you're trying to come there. This makes the pirates really angry, because now the pirates have two of them with another enemy. They have three enemies right now. So next, they are also in trouble, but they're savage. They don't care. Okay, now welcome to the east again. Okay, so to the east, we realize that there's an increasing tension happening in Marinos about what's gonna happen about the conquered Dwarvini Madagascar. The Madagascar is conquered by Dwarvicia or Via. Why am I forgetting my own names? And they finally figured a name out. First, let me get this out. So they figure out that Dwarvasa is the name of this. So Dwarvasa is the now name of this area. And they also change a bunch of the native names also. So Islo, for example, is gonna be changed to some of the other names like Sek. For some reason, that's a name. Or New Sek that. And Antonio is just turned with Via. Antonio Via. Yeah, that's the name now. So now this tension is increasing because they're trying to form another culture on top of another culture. They're trying to pancake cultures. And we all know how that went in Portugal and also the UK it's going right now. And also in Spain. We all know how that goes. And you don't want to know how that goes really. For Dwarvia, this is really sad. It doesn't ever work. So next, after a lot of those 600,000 deaths, what happens is that still technically a lot of the deaths happen from this side. And a lot of the deaths happen from this side. So what happened is like around what? 400,000 people are now in heaven. And they are like spread across here, and some of them in here. So they're spread across there, but only like 200,000 in here, because here it is, and it suffered less casualties. More of them escaped by using their magical abilities than them. So that is a fight really going on here. Now the Tri-Pact really tries to finish off Andate here by proving and campaign with people. So this triangle, or what is the name again? Atlanta water. I'll just call it the triangle. They make another ally here because the Andate is now their ally because they did basically a coup. So the coup is now done. Now that the coup's done, we can move on to the west. Now we can move on to the east, because now everything's really done. In an effort to not basically get destroyed by the Dwarvia, they join the pact. the Northerners join the pact. Also, they have an alliance here, but they do not ally with them. They are kind of like a protection for them. So the North Polans, or whatever their names are, they join alongside the super high-tech civilization. I don't know the name. They join, basically. This is starting to become even harder. And eventually, they declare war against Horvia. Now, this immediately puts them alongside a pact. They immediately join a pact. Because they, after they declared war on Horvia, now they are technically allies of these guys already. So they ally together, and now the world war is happening. With only a couple of battles, we can see a world war happening. And then Iraq has been bribed by Horvia, and all of this happens. Now we can move on to the final battle. This is the final battle. So now a bunch of troops happen with over 2 million or 3 million troops in this side, and this side a really high-tech, almost 100,000 troops. It's almost not a match, but they're really high-tech. They start fighting at a lot of the battles. The Battle of Big Cave, the Battle of Subscribe. That's a reference. You should subscribe to the channel and also share and like the video. The Battle of Redoubt. Eventually, a giant sweep happens over Horvia, and they get a lot destroyed. Although there's a massive casualty, almost like 1 or 8 million casualties. That's a lot of casualties. Now, these are all made up casualties, but a lot of these battles happened and over a lot of time. This caused the economy to crumble, and eventually the portal to almost close. So I start. Why am I getting to the portal? Okay, so bye. I'll see you next time on another video.